Hi everyone, Magnus here, back with some more live explained rapid chess. We've already played a couple moves in this game, starting with the Sicilian defense. He goes for closed Sicilian here. I've played one game against this guy already. It was an interesting game, a bit back and forth, but I had to go for the flag in the end. This time, anyway, we've got the closed Sicilian. I don't know exactly what a3 is, but I like to play knight c6 against closed Sicilian because the whole point of Sicilian is to control the d4 square, and if white is not contesting the square with the knight coming out to f3, then black can easily get control. Now, pawn to a3, I believe the idea might be to try and have a hiding spot for the bishop on a2. So I might play the move pawn to e6, with the idea being that if the bishop is to come out here, which it does, then I will be quickly ready with these pieces to kick the bishop back. So let's send the bishop to a2. Probably just bishop e7 castles might be the simplest. So let's keep it simple. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to deal with any checks or any other nonsense. And also the pins, getting out of any pins in the future, which is always a nice plus. Seeing the knight come out to e2 like this, I like the move pawn d5 because it would force the knight forward, and from there I can consider taking the knight, which does lead to this e-file being closed for white, which white often likes to use. And also this looks slightly destabilized with moves like my knight coming out, the pawn can go to e3. Also, I could consider bishop to e6, trying to trade off this nice light squared bishop that white has and unleash my rook on this file. But let's think. If I go here, there might be pawn f4, so that might not be the best idea. Maybe b5, c4. I think bishop to e6 is probably the most simple. Just going for this pawn exchange. Okay, so they are now targeting the e6 pawn here. Queen d6 does create a threat on the knight with the rook, and also defends my pawn on e6. Maybe queen to g4 will get played, and it does. Now they go after this e6 pawn many times, but I can defend it with rook f6, which also prepares the doubling of the rooks. And if the knight were to go to h5 and try and attack my rook, and also checkmate with the queen, I have rook g6 interposing and also attacking their queen. So rook f6 seems to be a nice straightforward solution to all these problems, and I can quickly get my other rook into the f-file. And I do feel like black is doing very nicely in terms of development. I've got all my pieces out pretty much, and looks like a pretty straightforward position. So let's see. No knight h5, like I said. There's no pawn forks because it's very well defended. This e5 square. And other than that, this bishop's got a hard time developing. I am bringing my other rook in, and if knight d3, I have always got c4 to kick this knight further around. Knight would have to go somewhere, maybe e1. That looks pretty bad. And you know, like this knight can join the party as well with knight to e5. But for now, they've got to deal with moving their f4 knight somewhere, or play move like pawn to g3, but that's highly risky because, especially with the knight coming into e5, creating these new weak squares on f3, something like queen h4 would hang a queen. So something like g3 here, maybe the queen goes to e2, could sack the rook, takes, and queen takes, knight coming into f3, bishop goes to d6. That looks like pretty monstrous position, although I just forgot that there's a bishop, which is not good. So what I was saying is something like g3, knight e5, queen e2. Actually, I can't sack the rook, so that's not really an option. So g3, knight e5, queen e2. Maybe pawn g5, knight h5, rook f3. And eventually their knight on the corner could get in some trouble, and my pawns can start moving down the center with the support of the knight. So that could be a little bit risky. What's nice is this pawn on e6 controls the d5 square, preventing their knight from jumping in, which is definitely very good. But I think pawn g3 might just be the only move. Knight goes back to e2. Hadn't considered this one that much, but definitely does make sense. For sure. I think I'm probably gonna go after their queen. I can also go rook g6, maybe. I think rook g6 makes the most sense. The queen kind of has to go to h5, as far as I can see. And then there's rook g5, and if the queen goes to h4, there's rook g2, unleashing the bishop on the queen. So it looks like their queen might have just been trapped. With these two rooks powering down the board, knight goes there. I don't see where your queen is going. Oh, no, I just almost hung a rook. Oh my goodness. Okay, time to get my head in the game. Is d3 a move? Maybe I can also go for bishop d8, bishop c7. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to start playing bishop d8, bishop c7. Probably bishop d8, we'll see like f4 or something. But I'm not too concerned about f4 because after f4, say like bishop c7, e5, I would have queen d5 going after this pawn on g2. So I don't think that's strong. So I think this probably is the way to go. Queen's a little bit isolated over here. So we are going to go for bishop c7. I could also try like c4, d3. I actually really like the look of this. Because if I can get d2, then d3, d2, your bishop's just trapped. So that's a pretty big threat. Okay. I can just take that. And my rook can come back, start to attack here. Also, I can play bishop c7. But then bishop c7, bishop f4. That's no bueno. Let's go. Playing very well they are. I accidentally said that backwards. I meant to say they're playing very well. So probably we'll play something like f6, bishop to f4. I guess I'll go queen d5. A little bit of yeah, some kind of Yoda speech there. But this pawn can definitely get very vulnerable with queen d5. Probably have to play g4 to support this guy, which looks a little bit sketchy. Or knight g3. But I was thinking on knight g3, can I sack? No. Might go bishop to b6, trying to get in d3. Let's play bishop b6, trying to get these pawn pushes. I also had pawn g3 maybe. Pawn g3, queen g5 though. Queen g4, and I would be unable to take either way because there is all kinds of pins and other nastiness. All right. Probably I should try and get this pawn moving. Let's get the pawn down the board. If I can get close to queening, that should be good enough. I have got good support for the pawn with all these pieces. Bishop g5, I didn't really think about. Probably rook d6 though. Can I take maybe? Not really. Let's play simple moves. No, let's not play bad moves. That would hang a fork. Let's play rook f7. Sure. Rook f7. Now the rook can go to d7. I still think black should be doing slightly better here. I've dodged a lot of bullets this game. Almost hanging quite a few pieces. Probably a little bit tired, but nonetheless, this should be a comfortable position. The difficulty is going to be, I don't actually know if this pawn's going to make it. Because it's probably going to get blockaded, let's say, on d2. And then the question always becomes, is that pawn an asset or a liability, you know? Is that not a potential blunder? That seems like a free pawn. That's some crazy. Takes. What are you going to do? You got to move the bish. You can't take, because then I'll take, and take. Or just play my bishop up and there's a pin. Feeling that's a pawn. I'm a little bit greedy. I am definitely known for being a bit of a greedy pawn grubber. But bishop h6 seems simple. I can trade takes. I can take here. I can give back the exchange or something. So that can't be so bad. Uh-oh. What is this? Yikes. Have I got in trouble? Queen here? Oh no. I'm missing stuff. This is very scary. Maybe queen e6? I didn't even realize that f5 was defended. To be completely honest. Wow, okay, I'm in some trouble. I'm just gonna quickly play this move. Point being that I want to take here, so on like bishop h6, I'll just take the pawn, and if they take here, then I've got this check, and I should be fine. There's no mate. Luckily, their knight can't move forward because it's blocked by all these pieces. But getting a little low on time, I'm gonna have to pick up the pace. So we will see. Taking probably makes sense here. Oh no, takes, I'll just take the piece. What am I talking about? So they have got a hanging bishop they have to deal with. And my queen actually went to a decent square where it can't really be harassed by the bishop. Maybe rook f4. It could be a move. Rook f4, queen e3. Craziness. I'm going to take this pawn. That was my plan. Trying to get the queen into the game. This is actually stupid because they can block. Now that I realize that. The rattlesnake. Oh, I don't like that sound. I do not like that sound. Oh dear, that's just awful. I just hung a queen. Ah, the panic set in. Damn. Think I'm dead. I'm just dead. Not a whole lot to do here. Nice move. Okay, this is not going to be enough to get the job done. Wait a minute. Do I have like check? Check? Might have some swindles. A little swindle. Ah, this is not no bueno. Let's just take. Knight defends the rook. Getting really lucky. Yeah. I did not deserve to win this game in the slightest. But good game to my opponent for sure. Um, they had me completely outplayed there for a second. Um, yeah. Take a quick look at the analysis. Okay, so they go for this Sicilian setup. Not super familiar with it, but um, generally I think it makes sense to just take the center. And if they let me do this move, I feel like the knight going here and leaving the pawn to be not very stable isn't ideal. And after this regrouping of all the pieces, I definitely felt like black was doing well. Rook f6, yeah, would deal these ideas, but surprisingly, their position's fairly resilient. This entire plan of Rook G6 with Rook G5 was just stupid because I didn't realize they had a bishop on C1 and I were, kind of just was falling asleep. So definitely C4, D3, get these pawns moving was the way to go. But I didn't see C4 for soon enough. And then by the time I did play C4, there was already a little bit of chaos. Apparently does this? What's the point? Bishop B6. That's nasty. That is nasty. What? How's... Oh, the engine's saying play bishop to E3, lose the bishop, get the rooks to defend each other, and then take here, attacking the queen, takes, and then you take the knight. Wow. That's nice. I would have liked to see that. Instead, what happened? I just played like... Instead I took, and then moved my rook, then the queen, and here I sort of felt like bad things were starting to happen. I should have just regrouped and taken this pawn. That definitely makes the most sense. I guess I was concerned about bishop g5. Why is bishop g5 no good? Oh, bishop g5, you take the pawn anyway. This is nice. So bishop g5, you take the pawn in the center. You can't take the rook because you take on g3, and that is a family fork. But instead, yeah, pawn d3, rook f7. f6 very creative. I should have just played g6. Taking here was not good in light of rook f5. g6 just shuts down everything, and I can just play with these pawns all day, get the rooks behind. Definitely would have been a lot more simple. Queen d4, another mistake. Bishop h6, taking on c2 was good. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with this then. King takes and black's better. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see that. I'm just joking. What is this? How do you evaluate this at a minus 0.5? This looks like absolute chaos. Like there's a pawn on here. Black's king's terrible. White's got a weird knight. Just a bit crazy there. Um, but yeah, I mean, after all of this, for hanging a queen, very good. I just forgot that there was the queen on h5 that can see this way. I had to just go down a queen. But there's always a little bit of hope. A cheeky swindle with queen g5. Point being that the queen has now left control of this square here, and my rook can get in, and at the very least my bishop can start checking and make the draw. But they decided not to go for the draw, which would have happened if they moved one of the pieces back. Let's say this happened. Let's say I would just take, and take, and here. I have nothing better than to try and play for a draw. I hadn't quite seen this, but yeah, now I see it. Bishop f2 just holds on with the knight controlling these two squares. That's crazy. And there would be bishop h4 winning the queen if you try and escape. But there's no way out of the net, and this is how the game could have ended. But after this, they move the king, which is a mistake, because now the bishop goes here. Bishop comes out, checks, and takes the queen. Now the knight defends the bishop, and the knight is pinned here. So sometimes you got to get a little bit dirty, get the swindles in, but nevertheless, good game by my opponent. We had another good game before this, but unfortunately the recording was a little bit messed up. But if you did enjoy this video and videos of this kind, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.